Are you hopelessly obsessed with German philosophy and will never feel truly fulfilled in life if you never read Kant and Nietzsche in the original German, but you don't speak German? Or do you live with a 64-year-old Turkish man who you haven't been able to communicate with for the last 3 years of living together, and when he showers, he leaves the door cracked to let the steam out of the bathroom, and it makes you a little uncomfortable, but you don't know how to tell him because you don't speak Turkish? Well then, you probably need to learn a new language. Today, I'm giving you a plan to teach yourself any language from zero using actual research. By the end, you'll have a step-by-step roadmap with milestones so you can jump in wherever you are. But first, a word from our sponsor, me. If you want to support me, scan the QR code on the screen and send me $20. Or less, or more, but send me money. Thank you. Here are the premises that the following method will follow. 1. Input builds the language system. Stephen D. Krashen, a professor renowned in the field of second language acquisition, proposed the theory that to efficiently progress from your current level of understanding, I, you need to receive an input at a level I plus 1, focusing on understanding instead of memorizing trivial grammar rules. This is known as input theory. 2. You must notice the thing you're trying to learn. Richard W. Schmidt adds complexity to input theory by presenting the noticing hypothesis, saying that learners must consciously notice linguistic features in input for acquisition to occur. This is known as the noticing hypothesis. People love saying, just immerse, okay? But if you just immerse in a language that you don't understand, that's not immersion. That's just being confused. Krashen's whole point is comprehension, not random exposure. You move forward by understanding messages that are slightly beyond you. Here's the system. There are 4 stages. Each stage has what to do, what not to do, and a milestone, so you know when you're ready to move on. So, if you're not a beginner, skip to the stage that matches your level. Stage 1 is when you know basically nothing. Your job is not to speak. Your job is to understand anything at all. Krashen says, the necessary condition for progress is understanding input with I plus 1. So stage 1 is make the input comprehensible using context, such as visuals, gestures, and pictures. It explicitly says that extra linguistic support like pictures and real objects is not just a frill. So what should you do? I suggest you use programs such as Anki to get a very basic understanding of some words, establish that baseline I that Krashen talks about. Watch super beginner-friendly content with visuals, listen to slow and clear speech tied to real meaning, and take input that's tied to as much context possible. Here, we can start implementing the noticing hypothesis. Notice one thing per session. A sound, a word pattern, a repeated ending. Write it down. Stage 2. This is where you start speaking. Krashen says that people can use grammar they've learned as a supplement to acquired competence, especially when you have time to express yourself, such as writing things down or planning a speech, but not so much in casual conversation. So what should you do? You should start with short conversations with training wheels, such as scripted dialogues or roleplay prompts. At this stage, you should keep input high with materials such as beginner podcasts or graded stories. You should also start looking into basic grammar structure, such as questions and past tense. I suggest you find a basic book that comes highly recommended online. In a paper written by John Norris and Lourdes Ortega, that explicit techniques yield more substantial effects than implicit instruction. Study grammar that supports real communication. Stage, it's important not to feel too much pressure and not grammar check yourself at every syllable. I can suggest that this can actually interfere. Stage 3, the plateau zone. This is where most people die, spiritually, because you're not a beginner anymore, so progress stops being dramatic. At this stage, research is your friend. Norris and Ortega found that focused instruction creates large gains. Effects are relatively durable, explicit instruction is stronger than implicit, and this is when you can start to create your own study style. You can do a grammar lesson, then practice, or practice, then a quick grammar lesson. Whichever is most effective at capturing your attention will be the most effective for you. At this stage, you continue your I+1 input. You can start watching things like native content, transcripts, or graded news. At this point, you should be noticing more things. Journal them, write them down. Now, you should be targeting the grammar that you're actively messing up on. Stage 4, polishing. Now, you're functionally functional. At this stage, you cleaned up ingrained errors, you add nuance, and try to sound a bit less like the textbook. This is the stage where Krashen's optimal monitor user idea matters. Essentially, when communicating, you try to limit how much you actively monitor yourself and grammar with the sole intent of conveying meaning. Now, you should be receiving daily native input, such as podcasts, debates, shows, or writing. You should record yourself speaking and listen back to correct yourself. It's important not to chase perfection in casual speech. And at this point, you can't stop input. Input never ends. You're a content creature now. You're stuck. And that's essentially it. At this point, there's no going back. You have no choice but to continue learning. All the content you're consuming is in the language. So, if you want to teach yourself a language, stop looking for hacks, shortcuts, and start running this system. It's long, it's boring, but if you remain consistent, it goes by much quicker. And once you reach a level of comprehension where you can enjoy content in the desired language, it becomes so much easier and so much more enjoyable.